Here we are in the bottom right side. We have a blue Protoss player fighting along the side of Alpha X. It's the new member. It's classic. The military man returned. And of course we have in the bottom left side a red Protoss player from the Afrika Freaks. A man who's looking pretty strong right now and might be on his way to win the GSL as well. Who knows? Who knows? It is Trap. It is a PvP, so a lot of weird stuff gonna happen. We're not quite sure. It's always fun to kind of see what is going to be happening here. What kind of things they can come up with trying to win the mirror matchup. Volatility in these types of matchups always quite fun to see. Where someone is going to crack. Where someone just kind of gets a lucky kind of build order win. That happens as well, of course, a little bit more often in these matchups. Quite a bit of gas mining going on for both of these players, it would appear. Actually, a little bit less here from Trap. Trap gonna try to, perhaps, get himself a quicker Nexus here. That's what it's looking like right now. Classic will get himself a little bit of a quick attack. We'll have to see. So yeah, it's best of 7, first to 4 wins. Because Trap has to go to a Wardy event afterwards. It is just first to 4, first to 4. Hopefully that is going to be enough for these two players to show what they have in store for one another. I assume so. Best of 7. Already something that, you know, they use in most of the finals as a kind of a way they do things. But, of course, you do have map picks in those situations, which they, well, they still kind of do. Just not about the first map. But then again, it's a mirror matchup, so it just comes down to personal preference here. Neither of these players should have one specific advantage towards the other. Classic did go for the Stargate here, immediately scouted by Trap and that probe. As this Nexus actually not too far removed from one another. Another gateway comes down as well. Both these guys actually went for the singular gateway. The Twilight Council now as well getting started up. We have a Stargate finished and the Twilight started before we have any new technology coming out here for Trap. Okay, there we go. There's Trap's Twilight. Did he just make a bunch more units? I guess he made the Sentry. He made 2 Stalkers. That's kind of where his money went at this moment in time, I guess. Oracle. Where are those 2 Stalkers? Okay, they're not. There they are here. The Oracle comes in at a little bit of an unfortunate angle. Only gets 2 probes. And has to get out of there. It's not the greatest start overall. But then again, keeping the Oracle alive so that these Stalkers, they're not really free to just start moving across the map either. They could if they wanted to, but there's always the possibility of that Oracle just jumping back right on its probe's tails and zapping them out of the slightly elevated floor level that they hover in. Both players from here on out going for the blink upgrade. The Fortress gonna be thrown down here a little bit quicker for Classic. Would assume that Trap won't be staggering too far behind with the upgrades here. The Forge. Not really seeing any indication which would make me believe that he would. Alright, goes for the Robo first. Nice little status trap on the potential 3rd base here. We'll be potentially able to delay a 3rd base for Trap. Trap kind of keeping tabs on what Mr. Classic is up to, of course. Classic trying the same with his Oracle here. Let's see. Didn't manage to catch wind of either of these technologies now available to Trap. So we'll have to still kind of get his eyes in here. Sees the Robo now, and I suppose, you know, seeing the timing of that Robo here, it kind of makes it clear that there must have been a star, or sorry, a Twilight, right? It must have been a Twilight. Somewhere. At some point in time. There was a Twilight. Because otherwise you would have flying units already on the map somewhere. Okay, little attempt at a blink play here from Classic. It could work. He's got a bit of an opening here. Might be able to pick up some Stalkers before the rest of them arrive. Doesn't really look like he's going to be able to get away with anything, though. Well, he's going to, you know, get away with his Stalkers, but he didn't get away with any damage. No damage dealt at all, really. Maybe a little bit of hull damage, but then again, he also took some hull damage, so... Wouldn't be writing home about that. I guess he did kind of get an idea of how many Stalkers are available now for Trap. How did Trap actually deal with the status trap? Guess he just knew instinctively. He's a smart guy. He's probably one of the better players using the status traps overall. Really befitting his name, honestly. Quite a lot of gateways here now being added by both players. 6 actually in total being added in. He still was on 2 gateways here. That is pretty crazy. Classic now up to 8 and adding 2 more. So he's going to go up to 10 here. As he is taking a 4th base on the gold as well. Whereas Trap going to stick on the 8 gate count for a little bit. Because he does have that Robo, of course, still producing units as well. Classic gone for the Templar Archives. Now having a couple of extra Archons here with him. And I try to get a quick jump into this location here, perhaps. Some Archons as well for Trap now on the way, which is very useful. A lot of Zealots in this army for Classic. Let's see if he is going to be able to... well, trying out a little 1-2 here. Into the main base he goes first, perhaps with the Stalkers, or just checking to see where he can and cannot get his damage done. That's a big Protoss army. He moves back again with the Zealots. Checking out the main base first. That's a big whopping of Zealots right now. Ooh, I love that. He's just keeping the Archons behind. That's a very smart move. And actually all of those Zealots now having to retreat. It's because of the 2 Archons, but then again, new Zealots being warped in here as well, and there's no Archons to try and fight them off from this angle. The Zealots from Classic actually just walking in, bypassing that entire army, now finally collapsing in on it. More Zealots just straight up into that main base. Force fields from Trap. I'm not sure if those are helping him out at the moment or not. He is losing quite a couple of probes. It's not looking all too swell here for Trap at the moment. GG is called straight away. And I guess that's fair. That is pretty fair. Not much he could do right then and there anymore. As we're, you know what? It's always the downside of coming to a conclusion of the previous game. It's like, alright, I guess we'll just have to build up the tension here a little bit once again. And how things are starting off. Ooh, already kind of interesting. Both players going for the double gate rather than the singular gate this time around. Also, of course, because of the way this map works, there's no ramp area at your natural. Meaning if you build your buildings over here as a wall, your opponent will be able to just shoot straight away from a distance towards your buildings, pick it off, make it very difficult for you overall. So yeah, you won't be seeing those walls up there. At least for now, until like maybe it depths later on, you know, you'll still want something there. But starting off here with the double gates on the high ground. So everything is just kind of going by its regular, good old-fashioned Protoss versus Protoss way. See how the blocking of the Nexus is gonna go. I guess not really all that well here. There is already 2 Stalkers coming out. Will he put down a pylon? He's gonna put down a pylon. Alright. He blocked in Trap's probe over here, so he will be able to get away with a quick Nexus if he manages to get all the money in his pocket. Trap here trying to perhaps... Okay, yeah, forcing a cancel there. To be fair, there was money necessary for Classic, I believe, to get his 2 Stalkers and Stargate finishing up, or starting up a little bit sooner. Ooh. Some delicate Stalker micro here coming in. The first Stalker casualty does get taken out in favor for Trap. It's 4 Stalkers now versus 3. That could be a problem. Stargate not quite ready yet with a couple of units. Nice pick-up there for one of the Stalkers. Trading 1 for 1 with 1 Stalker deficit. And now actually getting the first pick on that other one as well. It's trying to get that shield battery established. And now with that available, finally we'll be able to make up for the double Stalker numbers available there for Trap. I mean, it is just 1 to 2, but it is double. Trap having twice the Stalker numbers. Funny when you think about it. Funny. Alright, Oracle finds a Wild Prism moving along as well. So a couple of extra Stalkers here. Looks like that is going to provoke a cancellation of the Nexus immediately. The shield battery on the low ground going to be forfeited. Not even attempting fate right there. There's a shield battery and 2 Stalkers in the main base of Trap. So this Oracle so far absolutely doing nothing at all. We have a Sentry available as well. Is managing to catch 3 Stalkers, but that Wild Prism makes short work of that force field as well. And it looks like this might already be a little bit too much to handle. We do have a shield battery available though. Shield battery overcharge, also a thing. Actually, that's 3 shield batteries. Trap not managing to get himself out of that situation with the fight taking place on top of the shield batteries. Maybe he could have tried to rotate. He's kind of trying to rotate now. 2 Oracles managing to combine their firepower, burst through the shield battery and get 7 probe kills here. I hate to say it, Trap, but you need to find yourself a way to start dealing some damage as well. It's gonna take the fight at the shield batteries, and I'm not sure if I'm the biggest fan. I feel like maybe you could just start pushing from this angle. It's gonna be a bit wary before you get all your Stalkers up there, but you could even maybe walk just by here. I don't know exactly, but it's just 3 Stalkers. You have like, what? How many is this? Just walk past the shield batteries, no? You're gonna get surrounded by the probes. I guess that's true, but... Or you just get enough Stalkers to outpower the shield batteries. So yeah, that's fair as well. That's fair as well. Alright. Just let that advantage grow up until the moment where the Classic just can't handle you anymore. Tying up the series 1-1. 1-1 in the bottom right side. There is a blue Protoss player fighting for Alpha X. It's Classic. In the top left side, we do have a red Protoss. He's a freaker from the African kind. It is Trap. Alright. See if we get the double gateways here once again. Classic a little bit late with figuring out what was coming at him that previous game. Didn't see the extra gateways, didn't see the lack of a nexus in time. Which makes me think if he hadn't cancelled that pylon that was swapping in the natural of trap, I think things could have gone a lot better for him. Got a lot better. Would have taken trap quite a while to break it down, I suppose. I'm not sure how exactly it would have, how long it would have taken, but I feel like it would have been delayed a little bit, at least. Or he would have had to show that he went for more Stalkers. Whose probe do we want to follow here? The red one or the blue one? Let's just look at Trap's probe for a little bit. I suppose we just looked at classics. It's a relaxing probe watcher. They're not as easily scared as birds, so we can just keep yelling and shouting here as well while we're watching them. They don't mind. Maybe they're deaf, who knows? Deaf birds. That's what probes are in the end. Little pylon here coming up for Classic. We'll be able to see at least the Stalker. I think he may have seen this sentry as well. That was just on the edge there. The sentry didn't attack the pylon though, so I'm not entirely convinced. But at least he knows about the one Stalker. Behind this, 2 Adepts coming out from Trap as Classic is going for 2 extra Stalkers here. As the sentry already available for a bit of force fielding and of course scouting. These 2 Stalkers already quite aggressively on the map. Doesn't quite get the catch on the 2 Adepts though, so he might not be aware that there's Adepts behind the Stalkers. Is he going to keep a probe here at the entrance? So far, that is a no. Ooh, the Adepts there starting to come in close there. Shade is going to fall a little bit short for the main base. There is a probe here as well, by the way, now. Looks like that would have been okay for Classic. He caught wind of it at the right time. And having those probes kind of just moving along already, long distance mining. Stuff was at the right place at the right time. So, nice little, yeah. Nice little exchange there for yeah, look at that. For Classic. I was like, who got out on something? I guess the sentry, actually. Hold up, the sentry, that is a big deal. Although he does have 2 more, he could lose them right here now. Oh. Well, it's not 2 Adepts he's let in. It's just 1, which doesn't happen all that often. Being able to split up the Adepts with a single pylon here. Not seen that much, but this is, I mean, 2 Adepts is a problem. 1 Adept is already a nightmare as well. And let's look at that. There's just more of them right now. There's quite a lot of probes going down. Not as many on the other side. 9 probes in total lost. So definitely Classic getting the worst end of the stick there in the end. Grabbing the end of the stick with a bit of poo on it, it seems. The Adepts just consistently moving across the map now. Classic, yeah, let's see what he is going up against here. It's 2 sentries and 3 Stalkers. There's no shield batteries. He might be able to make something happen here. Let's see. The Adepts really would like to see those cancel that Shade. Oh boy. They're not at the fight now. They're not at the fight now. It's taking them a long time to get here. 1 Stalker already down. Another one almost about to go down. Now the Adepts finally arrive. We'll be able to add in a bit of extra damage and tanking firepower for the Stalkers as well, of course. There we go. The Adepts starting to target down the probes. Really what he wants to try and get done. More units dying in Classic his base as well. Alright, 7. 7 workers. But 16 now in total died on classic side of the map. What really got over there? I guess it was more adepts, right? The 4 more adepts that we saw go in there earlier. Okay. Okay. Adept was incoming, perhaps. Trap a little bit earlier with the adepts was trying to get it started, but couldn't quite. Now going to transition into Stalkers. But you know what? Classic's like, we'll just go into adept wars from here. 2 Stalkers and an Immortal. Very difficult to deal with here with just pure Stalkers. The Stalker's going to try to stop the War Prism from getting away here, so he can get all these units. Will he be able to get it? I don't think so. Doesn't have Blink either. Which means instead of getting all those units stranded there and killing them off, all he managed to achieve is really lose a bunch of Stalkers. Which is quite abysmal. So yeah, 11 probes lost, 19 probes lost for Classic. And just overall, it's not looking all that great here. Army composition for Trap is getting quite a bit stronger. Did he notice anything here? How is he? Why is he moving over here? Oh, he's no longer. He's still gonna check. Alright. Maybe he's feeling unsure because there's not been a 3rd base attempt. Well, what is being built here is 3 extra gateways and a dark shrine. It's gonna get scouted here momentarily. Couple of adepts trying out their luck. Not quite finding an entry way to the probe line. Stalkers and adepts here as well. Now we have a ton of adepts starting to be warped in. The adepts, they are pretty alright against the Immortals. Just gonna have to have your own Stalkers in order to deal with the enemy Stalkers as well, I would say. Or charge Zealots, they could work. But then we do have the sentries here. It's not the greatest. That's not the greatest shades. A lot of the adepts are gonna struggle to target the same unit. And with the shield battery there, you're just not going to be able to do anything. Oh, man. Yep, that's a GG. It's kind of the way that you should see StarCraft, right? At least, I remember specifically in like a Day 9 daily once where I learned from Mr. Sean, this smart guy, that you should always... you should always try to think of what possibilities there still are out there, rather than eliminating certain things, just taking them straight off the field. Oh, no, wait, what was it? Yeah, that's right. You need to eliminate. Already forgot what it is about. You see, you need to eliminate the options that your opponents can't go for anymore, rather than just trying to figure out the exact thing that your opponent is doing. You need to try and find things like, alright, well, yes, this much gas, so I guess he won't be able to go full-on Sky Toss anytime soon. Okay, yes, this many gateways, so we won't be able to do an attack like this at any time soon. It's not like, okay, he doesn't have that many gateways, so he's going for Sky Toss, right? That is the wrong thing to look at. So basically, when you're scouting, probably just more questions should arise on some level. Unless if you get just a perfect scout. Stargate with a Phoenix, getting a quick cancellation. Didn't want the probe to see that it's going to be Phoenix here. And we also have a Stargate from Classic, who's also building Phoenix. So we might have a Phoenix versus Phoenix PvP, which we don't get to see all that often anymore. Just gets on out of there. Little probe gets picked up by the Mr. Phoenix. Just want to know if Trap... Okay, Trap also saw the Stargates here. So they both know. They both know. Secondary Stargates at the same time. No upgrades yet, though, from either of these players. No air weapon upgrades for anyone at this point in time. Wondering if we're still going to have that being incorporated. Classic has the money now. It looks like he wants to spend it elsewhere. Just getting some more assimilators, getting more Phoenix queued up. If you do fall one Phoenix behind in this early game, of course, that could already be the end of you. If you get caught out without a shield battery in particular. And there's no shield batteries just quite yet for either of these players. So, gotta be extremely careful. That was a... It was an adept, I believe. We're just going to assume it was. Thought we would have more time and we would see the Phoenix arrive at the battle. Didn't quite happen in that cinematic way I'd imagine it would. So the Phoenix just kind of moving along. It's the weird thing with Phoenix versus Phoenix that I'm not sure if you ever really want to get aggressive at this moment until you get a potential advantage. Such as the fleet beacon, right, with the Phoenix range upgrade. Because every time you get across the map, your opponent is just going to have an extra Phoenix. Or about to have an extra Phoenix. He should do, anyway. Classical 9 and he was versus 7 Phoenix, so that could have actually been the end game right there already. Although, let's see, this was 8, yeah, it was 8 versus 7. Now it's 10 versus 10. Okay. Getting a better shot off there first for Classic. Had his Phoenix nicely stacked up on top of one another. Delicate dance, but the tables could quite quickly just get flipped upside down when this upgrade, of course, finishes. Fleet beacon a lot slower for Mr. Classic. It's very difficult for him to actually get the scout on right now to see that this fleet beacon has been available for trap a little bit sooner. Oh, Classic, I'm not sure if I like this engagement at all. Jumped in with a lot of loose Phoenix at the front there, and then he just gave chase as well. I think Mr. Trap may have found himself a slight opportunity here. Perhaps Classic is trying to lure him into a false sense of security. It is 11 Phoenix versus 11 after all. There's no shield batteries here just quite yet, and oh boy, the Phoenix upgrade for Mr. Trap has finished. He's going to be able to force this fight right now. All these Phoenix for Classic have to stay on top of this. And he just doesn't have any more. GG is called Trap. Games can end very, very quickly, which, you know what, is kind of the excitement part of PvP. A slight mess up, a tiny misstep, and you're just out of there. Alright. Regular probe harassments once again. And, what's this? What's this? That's not your base. That's not where you live, Mr. Probe. We just have got a hermit probe over here. Trying to start a new colony of Protoss. In the middle of the map. Made a little totem pole for himself. Now... making a big beach ball, it would appear. Oh, look at that. That's a very, very futuristic beach ball that is coming up. As he looks in the red probe in his main base. He's making it look like he wants to just go for the expand here with that move. Which is very nice. Goes for the 2 adepts, lays the probe. Keeps everything hidden in his own base. The proxy robo is coming up right now in the middle. After all. Stalker is going to... no, never mind. Never mind. He's going the wrong way. He's not going to be able to find this in time. To be fair, he's not made any attempt to make his own expansion. He has gone for a triple gate robo himself as well. So, yeah. We'll just have to see how this is going to devolve. And to be fair, I feel like in these types of situations, it's quite common to just, well, not be able to really finish off your opponents with what you have. And then we just have a situation where Classic has a robo out in the middle of the field, and Trap has one in his main base, right? So, in a sense, I feel like Trap is already at an advantage, because even if they, like, neither of them really make any headway with this type of play, Classic has his building in the middle of the map. He's gonna have this very useful building that will be a continuous just thing that he needs to defend. Two Adepts do manage to get into the main base, but a quick cancellation, seeing just the pure number of Stalkers that is available here. Stalkers full, Mr. Classic not really finding a lot of luck here either. Okay, the Immortal is doing a lot. The War Prism on the top side has been taken out though. And down goes the Immortal as well. Is this still winnable here for Mr. Classic? It's looking pretty rough with the War Prism Micro coming in from Trap. He's doing very well. More units are coming in though for Classic. We'll have another Immortal available before the Immortal of Trap is on the field. Shield Battery is another step coming in though here for Trap. Where's he building this? Okay, it's not on the low ground, it is on the high ground. As the War Prism moves along the northern path here, we'll find a fully exposed main base of Classic right now. And just committing a single warp in right there would be ever so much worth it. Has the shield battery to keep him safe at home. Classic, he might even have to use a recall here. I'm not sure how his how far along his gateways are to warp in again. Right, Sentry's trying to make some magic happen here. The shield battery overcharge comes into play. War Prism in the base of Classic now though. Alright, two Adepts already finding 7 probes. The other Adepts trying their best to get that cleaned up. See this section. That's a lot of probes. That is a lot of probes. And this is just kind of a force field versus force field. You're not pushing into me, but I'm not pushing into you either. Kind of situation. Oh, nice pickups there on the Sentries, keeping them alive. Trying to catch that Immortal on the top side. That could... Oh, that was so close. Going on the chase. Won't be able to get it. 2 Immortals here for Classic. Is this going to be enough? He still has money floating in because he did manage to save his main base mineral line there. Whatever happens with that War Prism, I don't know. Exactly. Is it? It's over here now. Right. Guess he must have recalled it. Okay, 3 Immortals strong. Is that enough? There's only 1 remaining now. Very good target fire coming out of Trap, and it looks like Trap is going to be able to squeeze out this victory here. Just barely. There it is. GG is called. Are you kidding me? Trap